Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts Miss Purrington and Mookie. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, our advice column, Rochelle Takes on Comedy, our festivals page listing upcoming festivals across the country and the world, and more. We're best known for our events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. If you want your show featured on the calendar, click the Submit a Show icon from the top of the homepage or events page to complete the short survey. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our Instagram followers. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Now back to our podcast. Launched in 2016, the Podcast Project brings you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. We need some fresh reviews. It would be great if you did. And today we are talking to somebody who was on our 269th episode at the end of 2022. And he is the host of the long-running The Feedback podcast, which just crossed the 300 episode mark. Yay! I was on episode 231 titled Revenge Driven. You can go check that out to find out why I'm so revenge driven. He's the producer and host of Record Play, a music trivia show. And when he's not covering comedy or music, you can catch him on stage performing comedy. And as always, you can browse his Instagram feed from all the comedy festivals that he attends across the country and see what famous person has he schmoozed up to. And I brought him here because I wanted, this is our first episode of 2024, so I wanted to revisit 2023 and talk about what we're excited about for 2024. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, see, this is kind of redundant. Yeah. Welcome back. Story of my life, Valerie. Story of my life. Thank you for having me again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. My brain is operating in a permanent state of fog, and I'm like, wait a minute, you've been here before.
Yeah.
Because I remember, okay, you speak French, I speak French, and I remember we spent some time chatting with my mom in French after the end of the last episode.
Yep.
That we recorded together. So.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you had moved when you said, "Are you ready to drive to the hill country?" I'm like, I think I did that last time.
I can't be trusted with
Look,
anything.
it's an hour drive, but it's fine. I'm here. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, how are you feeling today?
I
do my
Someone's
homework.
been listening to my episodes. I am tired.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I feel
it's the end of the year, so there's a lot of like, how can I put this? Like rush to get things done, because everybody, okay, new year, new me, all that crap.
Yeah.
You want to start fresh, so you're like, let me close out a bunch of stuff to prepare myself better for the new year.
Yeah.
And so I had 25 things. I barely sleep.
Yeah.
Life is too short. I'm trying to get things done, but you know what? I'm still enjoying life, and yeah. I'm happy to be here.
I've noticed that you're doing more comedy now.
Yes, I am, and it's kind of all right. Are you ready? Let me put on my soapbox. No. So I've come to realize that one, if you don't ask to be on shows, you just don't get on shows. There's just so many.
Sure. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's nuts. And honestly, it's great because more stage time. And I get the whole, you got to be visible. You know what I mean? So you still go to mics, go to shows, support other comics who are producing shows because now it's all over the place. But something as simple as, hey man, you got any spots open next month or so? I'm available these dates. Oh, cool. Yeah, send me your dates and put you on. No problem. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to do that more.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, like this comes out January. Yeah, so like 5 shows in December, which I've never had that many
Wow.
shows in 1 month. And I'm like, all I did was ask.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know, and I get it. People are in the, they're in the motion of things. They keep it going, and they try to book out a couple months out, and I totally get it. But yeah, I'm starting to. I don't say hit my stride because I don't want to put myself above anybody or whatever. But yeah, it's been very fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I know that. So for me, 2023 brought the return of Comedy Wham putting on a show.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was the best possible scenario for the show coming back, because when we used to run the show at Hops and Time in Lakeway, the owner of the restaurant, after our 1 year anniversary, not that there was correlation here, but he sold the restaurant, and so the show ended. And I didn't hear from anything, but I was also like super, super busy with my son and all of his activities, driving here, there, and everywhere. And so I wasn't really looking to get back to producing a show again. Out of the blue in September, the former owner calls me and says, "Hey, I'm the general manager at this other restaurant now.
Sorry.
And love for you to come out and do a comedy show again." And I'm like, I had just started getting the itch of saying, well, my son's now got a driver's license, so he can drive himself here, there, and everywhere. And I loved booking a show, and I missed booking a show.
It's fun, huh?
So I really super, super lucky in how it came together. And we did a 3-month trial run, and we've been extended into 24. So I'm now, looking forward to hopefully not getting to the 1 year mark and then him ghosting.
No. Once you have the format down, and there's a method to the madness, and you know who you're looking for, you know the audience, you know what they offer, you can replicate that wherever, really, because there's such a hunger for comedy in Austin now, that it's just. I mean, I still run into people who had no idea. I was talking to some friends I used to work with at the radio station. I'm like, you work for iHeart and you have no idea that there's so much comedy around.
Yeah, how would you not know?
No, exactly. And so, he's like, oh, cool. Well, let me know. I'm like, I'll follow these 2 accounts and you'll know everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I live down south. Like, look, trust me, it's from Fort Worth all the way down to San Antonio at this point. And it's not even the fact that it's not comedy clubs. Right, you can go to your local brewery or your local. Somebody's gonna be taking that night and running a show there. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for sure. You said the venues from Fort Worth down to San Antonio, you can find something. And to toot my own horn a little bit, so I've been writing for the Austin Chronicle as well.
Oh,
and
okay.
They asked me to do a top 10 comedy news stories. And one of the stories is how, there's just comedy everywhere. And these little, and it's hard to know which is the driver. Is it the horse or the cart forcing the change? But I talked to the person who is the director of Paramount Theater, who is also the producer of Moon Tower Comedy Festival, Lisa Brass.
Yeah, Lisa Brass, friend of the show too.
And she said that they have had an increase of 134%, I think was the number she said, in their comedy programming. I think as an extension of the Mothership opening, Sunset Strip opening, Roscoe's, East Austin Comedy Club, South Austin Comedy Club now. And so it's like, which is driving which, but now Austin is a destination for massive headliner comics because they can get stage time at Mothership, at Cap, but so much downtown. And then, they're going to headline at Paramount and Moody. And
well, think about it this way too. In terms of the demographics, Austin back in the day was a college town. So because of UT, St. Edwards, if you want to count that, but mostly it was a young town, right? And then Austin's biggest really, pillar culture-wise was the music. And you reach a certain age now where you're like, I'm not trying to go to a bar. I'm not, unless you have like your go-to music spot that you know what they have on a Tuesday, like Half Step or wherever else.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you're like, what else can I go and do and not have to deal with a bunch of drunk 20-year-olds, and I can still be home by 11. And so I'll find the next day. Comedy is the only other option.
Yeah.
Right. And now that it's all over the place, you make a plan for it. Like, I'm gonna get a babysitter, or hey, honey, I got tickets to the Paramount, I got tickets to Sunset or Vulcan or whatever, and that's the date night now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they work in parallel in the sense that the demand is rising. So and also the stage time is rising, and people who are running those shows are not necessarily, they're just trying to bring more comedy to the city.
Yeah.
So I think that I make I'll do what's the dude's name used to predict the future? I forget his name.
The young kid?
No. Whatever. No.
Oh, the old
Nostradamus? Nostradamus, yes. I don't know how. See, I told you I was tired, Valerie. I think that comedy will surpass music.
Oh, 100%.
It's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And faster than we think. And especially, we mentioned the Mothership that opened, in March of this year?
Yep.
That's the attraction. That's the tourist attraction. That's in Austin, you have to see the Mothership. If you're a headlining comedian, traveling around the country, you stop and you're going to go to the Mothership.
Yeah.
But what that did, I think, is that it opened up the doors to, I won't say lesser known comedians, to come through Austin and go to Creek, go to Sunset, go to Cap City. And gives them I came through Austin, just to have there's no way you're skipping Austin now. If you're going to Dallas, if you're in Texas, period. If you're going through Texas, you have to stop here.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that it's not it evens the playing field in a way. You know what I mean? Because before it was Cap City get all the big names.
Right.
Now, and then there was nothing else. Now, Mothership gets all the big names, but then there's this new wave of other comics that you probably didn't stop here to begin with.
Yeah.
And now they do, and that's huge. Yeah. I'm glad I get to see guys and girls comics that I've never seen in my life. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I know. Yeah. So learning so much from that.
Yeah, yeah, and just taking from my own experience. So so we're recording in early-ish December. Last night I went to go see Ralph Barbosa.
Oh.
And he was at Cap City. And I had bought the tickets, back when it was announced, but it was for August shows, which got bumped because he got his Netflix taping that same weekend, so it got bumped to December. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, this is the last time I'm going to see this guy on a small stage.
Yeah.
He's going to be selling out theaters in no time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his trajectory is just amazing to watch. And, it's like, who else among us are we seeing likewise? And I kind of did overkill, and I went to a second comedy show.
Oh, my God, Valerie, you are out of control.
I know. And I got to see a couple of comics, and there was one comic, and she performs regularly at the Mothership. And I'm like, yeah, she's on that same path.
Who is it?
Sam Lopez.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, I will admit.
Miss Posted.
Yeah, Miss Posted. Oh, her jokes about him are so funny. I will admit I've yet to go to a Mothership show. I interviewed Genevieve and I said I'm going to go to an open mic because I feel like I can take a small bite into that universe, and I could probably afford a ticket, and I don't have to plan months in advance to get to an open mic. I looked, and I have to plan 2 weeks in advance to buy a ticket.
That's
to
about
the
right.
mic. Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah.
But I have this preconceived notion of what a Mothership comic is like. And Sam just blows that out of the water because she's not, to me, she's not bro-y. And I really like her comedy.
I've seen her at Creek many times. I really like her stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the mic at Mothership yet.
Yeah.
Like in the audience or on stage. I've gone to 2 shows there.
Yeah.
I saw a Rogan show, so your typical Rogan show with Rogan, Tony.
Yeah.
I think Tom showed up, and then the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
And then I saw Robert Kelly there.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's talk about an attraction. It's like you live in Paris. Well, I lived in Paris, and the Eiffel Tower is right there, and you never go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
So
locals don't go.
yeah, locals don't go to the Mothership. It's there. I mean, it's there, and everybody who's in there, like, oh, we just came in for a bachelorette party, from Memphis or
Oh my
wherever
gosh.
else, and so I'd rather, because most of the people at the Mothership I've already seen many times, and I think that I get more inspired by seeing a comic that's not on that level yet, but that could be on its way,
Yeah.
on his way or her way, and so I like that better.
Yeah.
I like that better, and plus, don't get me wrong, it's run really well.
Yeah.
From what I've heard and what I've seen, it is run really well. The bar is phenomenal. The Mitzi's bar, the drinks are really good. But I still like to pop in Creek in a Cave on a random night and see who's up.
Yeah.
Somebody just came in, traveling. All right, gonna do a guest spot, and I never heard of that person. I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and watch.
Yeah.
That gets me better.
Yeah.
Because then I can kind of gauge. Oh, I'm better than him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
heard it here.
No,
Black is better.
I always get inspired. See, this is the thing. Like I get more inspired. The more comedy I see, the more inspired I get.
Yeah.
And it's. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm still studying it, but just watching, I'm like, okay, I see what it did there. I see what she did there. All right, cool. Not that I'm trying to do the same thing at all. I'm not.
Right.
But it makes me think about my own act.
Right.
And
right.
gets me more comfortable with it. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I think as comedy geeks, we not only enjoy the comedy for just, its ability to make us laugh, but we're like, oh, that was really a creative approach to what they, how they got to that laugh line. And so we study it, I think, a little more deeply than just the casual person.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've caught, who did I see? I was in New York in August and September for 10 days.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
Yeah, and every day I was out.
I bet. Yeah.
Checking out shows from the stand. I was at the Cellar. I went to the Cellar, but every night I was at the Cellar, or the Underground. Caught up New York Comedy Club. I went to a bunch of them, and I see these comics that I'd never heard of were just killing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the joke he just did. If I were to read that on a piece of paper, I wouldn't even chuckle. But the way he delivered that, holy shit, I couldn't stop laughing. It was that kind of it's those kind of moments that I really enjoy seeing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw 2 names out of people locally that and I guess not locally, but since I just saw him last night, he's on the brain. 2 comics that I think arguably, if you did see what they do on stage in written form, you'd be like, this is not funny. Ralph Barbosa, to me, is that kind because it's in his delivery, which, of course,
it's all in his delivery. I watched the special.
Delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it's a simple approach, but it's just so good. And then the second person is Casey Rocket. I mean, what he does on stage is just insane. Shouldn't make any sense on a piece of paper.
No.
Shouldn't make sense on stage.
Shouldn't.
But it's friggin' Casey Rocket.
I've had Casey on the show on my podcast, and we talk about horror movies. But I think that I'm sure there's people out there that I've heard people just hate on that kind of style, like random thing,
yeah,
just
yeah,
walking around like,
yeah.
"Where's your jokes?" Like set up punchline. I'm like, no, this is what he does.
Yeah.
And it works. Like you can't just objectively watch his show and you can cross your arms all you want
Yeah.
and frown and be like, this is not supposed to be funny. This is not funny. And the rest of the
brings
crowd
joy.
is just howling.
Yeah.
So something's working. And I think that it's the great Doug Stanhope said, sometimes comedy is like animal porn. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. You can't. You can't like. You have to. You find what connects with you. If you rather go see somebody like a Bert Kreischer, who talks about his life and his family, and that's your thing, then that's your thing.
Yeah.
Or if you rather go see, Ali Sadiq, who can just talk and tell you the most incredible story, and you're like, yeah, this should be a novel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you still connect. At the end of the day, all you're trying to do is connect. Like, there's no secret formula. There's no whoever's on stage and telling his or her truth. That's what it comes down to. If it resonates with you, fine. If it doesn't, just don't go. Don't laugh, or tell somebody who might enjoy it. But you can't just hate on somebody who's doing well and just shit on them. And sorry, can I?
Come on. Of course you can.
All right, fuck yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not necessarily for everybody.
Yeah.
And, like, personally, when the first time I saw Casey, I was like, he reminded me of Robin Williams. Like it's like the brain just keeps firing, and whatever comes out is comes out of his mouth and his body language, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it'd be great for improv. I don't know about stand up. And then next thing you know, he won the not the
It was the Austin
there was some contest.
competition. It was the funniest Austin competition. Something.
It wasn't FPIA. It was
not
something
FPIA,
else. It was another
yeah.
thing he won. Yeah. So all power to him. Casey's a good kid.
Yeah,
He's a good kid,
yeah,
and
definitely.
he's all about it. So
Yeah,
good for him.
So I'm going to ask you about your podcast milestones this past in 2023. I will tell you that mine was getting to talk to Howie Mandel.
Oh,
and I'm
nice.
making this segue because if you have followed Howie Mandel's career as a comic, you know that in the 80s he was just wild and crazy on stage, but now he's more, he's aged, so he's not necessarily like that. And so I'm bringing him up not only to talk about the milestone of getting to talk to him, but also that I got to see Casey a couple of weeks ago. One of the recent shows that I've become very smitten with is the Chosen Comedy Show, because I think the Sunset Strip is
Max?
a cool. Max and Eric,
Isaacson, yeah.
Because I think that Sunset Strip venue is very cool, and I can tolerate the early start time on a weeknight.
Don't go crazy now, Val.
I know. But also, Max and Eric do a nice job of, like, it's a quick-paced showcase. So, I get to see a lot of comics in a short amount of time. And I saw Casey, and Casey was, of course, being Casey, the crab. But also, like, he actually stopped and did what I say is a traditional joke. And I'm like, am I witnessing an evolution of Casey in the way that Howie became evolved and went from, crazy, wild to, now as an older person? Because I can't imagine when Casey's in his 50s, he's going to be doing the crab. I mean, talk about sciatica.
Thanks. I had sciatica this week, folks. It's still painful a little bit, so thanks for bringing that up. I told you I was feeling.
The amount of stretching that Casey's going to have to do if he keeps doing all this crazy movement.
Well, it depends. I think it's more of how do you, like, reinvent yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's a conscious move. But the conscious move that got to come from you, not from the outside. So in other words, if they said, somebody came in and said, "Oh, Casey, I love what you do. The crab and the here's random pictures you pull out of your pocket and whatever. Yeah. But if you want to make it in this industry, I'm gonna need you to really do one-liners, or I need you to do set up punchline. I need you to tell stories. No. At the end of the day, it's about getting up there and telling your truth. And the funny thing is, you talk to Casey off stage, and he's the most mellow dude ever.
He really is.
Mellow as hell.
Yeah, I had him on this podcast as well, and I was just so impressed. Like, you wouldn't think, because I don't know if it came up in your episode with him, but he's sober.
Yeah.
And seeing him on stage first, you're like, there's no way. There's not some kind of illicit drug behind this.
It's a character.
Yeah.
It's a character.
And in my research, I went and found old videos of him performing when he was it Utah that he came from?
I think so.
It's Utah. And I'm like, oh, I see the little glimmers of the Casey Rocket that we get to see today. So kind of going back to that whole evolving yourself, you know, he was away when he was in Utah, and now that he's in Austin, he's a different way. And I'm kind of excited to see that little glimmer of his evolution that I got to see a snapshot of. And my hunch is that anybody that was at that show that I was at probably thought it was all crab fest, and they didn't notice him actually doing what I would say is a traditional joke where he's kind of still and he's, you know.
Did he make it off? He didn't make it obvious. Like, he just didn't just stop, walk up, and
No.
say, "So, did you ever notice?"
Yeah, no, I don't think it was obvious to anybody unless somebody has actually been really carefully studying how
gotcha.
he's been
Okay.
doing. And I'm like, oh, this could be really interesting.
But how was Howie?
Howie was amazing. You know, when you get these really big names sometimes, and I have no idea how they found me. Literally no idea.
Oh, they reached out to you?
They reached out to me, yeah.
You're somebody. Don't sell yourself short now.
No, okay, fine, but...
Just take the compliment.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you, bye. I am somebody.
Yes,
No,
own it.
taking it.
Own it with pride.
Because I reach out to big names sometimes, but I would have never in my imagination thought, oh, I'm going to reach out to Howie and his people and see if he'll talk to me. So, you know, it was being on somebody's correct PR list is what it boils down to, and that's fine. It was a Zoom call. Don't anybody think that I actually, you know, had one-on-one.
Howie didn't drive out to the hill country like I did?
No.
Oh, Howie, come on. It's beautiful out here.
I know. But this has happened a few times where they tell you get 20 minutes of this person's time, and that's it. Well, an hour later with Howie, you know, and admittedly, he is very well rehearsed in his answers to certain things, and he knows his life story the best, and he's talked about his life story many, many times. So, you know, a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I just kind of gave you a softball, and I know you've said this, but it was still a really cool experience to get to talk to him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that was one of the highlights of the year. Crossing the 300 mark was
that after 10 years. I don't know about consistency here, but after 10 years, I crossed 300. No, it was fun because I switched it up a little bit this year because I was kind of tired of interview style. Podcast. I've done it for so long.
Yeah.
And also, I thought that I like targeted conversations.
Yeah.
Where we pick a topic and we just take it apart. That to me, that's more fun because it exercises a muscle that you don't necessarily we don't do all the time because people like to kind of be random and all over the place when you have a conversation. But when I have a Gabe Davis on. And we say, all right, songs that need to retire. Now we got to think about some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just go out and we play off each other. When we talk about, so the 300 one was, and he suggested it. It was R&B songs by rappers. Horrible, funny R&B songs by rapper, and it was me, Gabe Davis, and Jose the Hype, and we just kept laughing because we listened to some song. I'm like, I can't believe this song was out. Like the last song of the show. I'm gonna spoil this, but there's more. The last song of the show was Ghostface Killer And the opening line is, "I put my dick in your mouth." I'm like, "Whoa!"
I died.
You heard this?
I died.
Yes.
And then the next line.
Yes. It gets worse after that. And so that's what I mean. Like if we're, I had this actress, Catherine, mess up her name. Oh, Catherine Hammonds. And we talked about movie tropes. And that was fun because we're just, that's what I mean. It's like maybe some bits can come out of it. I don't know. And if they do on the spot, that's awesome. Yeah. But I think it's a good muscle to be like, okay, can I take this apart? How far can I take this apart? And when you're with somebody with who that's just effortless, it's the best.
Yeah.
People who are just conversationalists, people who are not just one dimensional, that just don't, they can talk about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're able to go back and forth with you on that topic, and now they have to they get prepared. Some people came up with notes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So it's been more fun that way. I might twist it up later, but for now, I enjoy this format.
Well, your podcast has been all about evolution. I mean, you started covering this nightlife in Austin.
Now do you think I'm going to be out there now talking about right? DJ such and such, so you play at Lodge, right? On 6th Street? No, I'm done. I'm done doing that. But actually, a big thing that happened for me this year, and again, I'm bragging, but
do it.
When I was in New York, and I've talked about it many times, but I hung out with Godfrey pretty much like 4 days straight.
Wow.
4 nights straight, and to where like I would walk in with him at the cellar, and then and I got on his podcast.
No way.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
How did I miss this?
2 episodes. Well, 1 episode that took 3 hours that he cut in half, and I was on his podcast. But it's him. So in Godfrey We Trust on the Gas Digital Network. That's Louis J. Gomez. That's his network. There's a bunch of other podcasts on it, and I records on the Tuesday late, like at 11. We didn't start till midnight, and it's him and Dante Nero. And I'm sitting on the couch, and they just go off. And it's one of those things that I listen to the show. Like, I watch the show. I know the dynamic they have. Yeah. And I've met Dante before, but it's like it's their show. I'm just a guest on it. And when they talked about either sports or politics and all of that stuff, and they go off on their rant, then every episode, Godfrey got to do some impression. With Steve Harvey or Deion Sanders or somebody, right? And I'm like, I let them do their show. And so I was reading the comments on YouTube, and people are like, "The fuck's you doing there? He's not saying anything." Like so the first half of the show, I didn't really say much, and then we cut, and we came back like 30 minutes later. And Dante was like, "Oh, I like what you were saying about this and that. Let's start the next episode with that." And I talked more on the second half of the show. But it was surreal. It was surreal to be just in that studio, and he was gracious. And the whole time I'm like, he's like, he got me in. We went to dinner, and then he got me in the cellar. He said, "Oh, just go." Go without me. I got to go take care of something. I'm like, I can't just walk into the cellar. You realize that. I can't just go, "Hey, I'm back. You never seen me in your life." But And he's like, "No, it's fine. There's a problem. Just have him call me, and I'll talk to him." And sure enough, I get there, and I'm like, "Yeah, I was having," and the security looks at me like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "No, I was having." Godfrey said I could, come in and all that. He's like, "All right, well," I put him on the phone, and they put me at the comic stable inside the cellar.
Holy cow!
On the ground. And I'm sitting there, and that was the night that Yamanika went up. Yamanika goes up and fucking kills. I love that girl. And I'd seen her before, never met her like in person.
Oh, really?
I never met her in person. And that night, she was showing me, "Yo, I'm about to drop this thing about people comparing Taylor Swift to Beyonce. People gonna be mad at me about," and then we're just talking. And then she goes, "Oh, you going to Skankfest?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let's do this blackout dinner in Vegas while you're there. Give me your number. We'll figure it out." And sure enough, in Vegas at Skankfest, I go to do this blackout dinner with Yamanika Saunders, Khalees Hawkins, and I forgot the third girl. She's gonna hate me. Anyway, it's on my Instagram. Point is, it's like. It always feels surreal when I'm around them, but I can just play it cool, not
Right.
you know what I mean?
You're not gonna be a fanboy.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. I can't. I'm an adult. I'm not gonna do it. No. I have a lot of respect for him, but the whole time I'm like, look, you don't have to do any of the stuff you're doing. Like he would pick me up with he'll call the Uber and then drop me off at my hotel and then go home. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. And he goes, shut up, just fucking.
Wow.
Okay.
'Cause you've been friends with him for a long time now.
2014 is when I met him at the Moon Tower.
Yeah, so this is on his up. But
Yeah,
not
but
at the peak of.
Yeah, but it's not like I
everything.
see him when I talk to him all the time. It's like if he's in town, he calls, and I told him I'd be in New York, so I saw him. But I got to see Paul Verzi, ran into Corinne Fisher, like a bunch of it's crazy the amount of comedy clubs in New York.
Yeah.
And we're lucky here because they're all within the same mile radius, like couple mile radius.
I did the math because for this article, for the Chronicle, I wanted to be able to say within an X mile radius there are these many clubs. And I did the math, looked at a map. 10 clubs within a 2 mile radius.
That's huge.
Of the Mothership. So you draw the circle, and I'm including Fallout, Hideout.
Yeah.
And I can fit in East Austin Comedy Club in that radius. The only one I couldn't is the South Austin because that one's a little too far, but still.
That's huge.
In 2 miles, 10 clubs.
But New York it's also all over the place.
Yeah.
It's more of a stretch though, because New York, it's bigger. They're trying to get to one to the other, is a pain in the ass. But it was great.
That's amazing.
I'll definitely make it a point once a year to go up. I got on stage once actually.
Yeah.
At a talent show that Victor Venato produces. Just did a quick 5 minutes, but it was great. So I'll make a point every year. I go up to New York more, just for the inspiration.
Yeah.
So I can get on stage possibly.
Yeah. Well, I'll share my Yamanika Sanders story because I met her. It sounds like I met her before you. So, you know.
It's not a competition, Val. She's great people.
She is.
She's intense, but I love her.
Fun. I had interviewed Jessie Mae Peluso when she came to Moon Tower, and this was, it was pre-COVID, so 4 years, possibly 5 years ago, and Jessie Mae and Yamanika were on the same show that I had gone to see, and Jessie Mae wanted to get to somewhere, and she's like, I don't know how to get to somewhere. And so I'm walking with her, and Yamanika's like following along, and Yamanika's just going, her intense, ranting about something that I don't remember what it was, but it was like, I remember I gave her some advice because it was all, what's happening in this little pocket of downtown Austin. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to talk to Yamanika.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She is awesome.
Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to for 2024? Actually, before we do that, let's play this goofy game. Where should we begin? We're going to practice our little improv skills here. Okay, so the card game is you're going to point to one card, and I'm going to read that one to you after you read the one that you didn't choose to me. So pick a card, that one. So I'm going to read that one to you. You can read that one to me, and we'll see what I have to say when you ask me.
You want me to start?
Let's do it now. Yeah,
All
and then
right.
we'll cover.
The last time I checked. No, sorry. No, I can't read. Oh my God, this is bad. I need glasses. The last time I cheated. ...
Oh, gosh. I'd have to really think about that because I don't think I cheat.
Yeah, but you have.
Remember
that time?
I have such vivid memories of my dad, chiding me and shaming me if of a time we went to a restaurant and somehow the waiter had left some money on the table or I don't remember what the scenario was, but I wanted to take that money and it was literally either $1 or a penny. It was such an insignificant amount of money.
You sell someone else's money?
It was somebody else's, and my dad he was like, "No, you're putting that back. That's not yours." And so
how old were you?
Oh gosh, I was probably like in the early teens range.
Okay.
I was pretty young. So and cheating in school was never an issue. I very book smart, and so
You've
I
never
worked hard.
cheated on a test.
Never cheated on a test.
Never wrote on your hand
No.
the answer. You never looked over to see what the neighbor was writing down.
Because by the time those things were important, I already had that lesson from my dad about how you just don't cheat. You live honestly to a fault, because my dad was honest to a fault, which I think I sometimes am. But yeah, no, definitely no cheating in terms of a school thing.
Okay, there's different forms of cheating. Now I'm digging.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Have you ever, like skipping the line, for example, in front of people is a form of cheating?
I bet you, yes, I have. Because if I see somebody, it's a comedy show, whatever, and somebody's ahead, and I can get to the head of the line, they might say, "Oh, come on, come," and I'm like, but I do feel a sense of guilt.
Okay.
Of doing it.
You've never, say, at a red light, and you're kind of like working your way to the.
Oh, I hate that. No.
You never done that?
No.
Okay.
No.
How about?
I'm sure if you dig hard enough, you will find something, but.
There's a parking spot, someone is blinking, and you just go in and take
No,
it.
because I know how pissed off I get when somebody does that shit to me. Yeah, no. I mean, probably in my 20s, I probably did something. But, as time passes and I think more about, the lessons that my dad taught me.
You never kissed a boy while you were dating someone else?
No. I mean, no. I was never. No, because I never had that many suitors at once.
It doesn't matter, but.
Yeah, no. Oh, no. I think I did.
Yes, I did. Yes. I
did.
knew it.
No, but I held hands with a boy when I was dating very seriously another boy. And that was no, the other boy is the one.
You held the hand or he held your hand? And don't say it was mutual. Somebody got to initiate that. It's not like in Disney and they just come at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know.
You did it.
I don't know that I did. No.
You let it happen.
Because even if it was like there's no cheating involved, like I'm never an initiator. Okay. So I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have reached out first.
But you received and welcomed it.
Yes.
But all right, fair enough. We found the one time you cheated. Jesus, holy crap.
Man. I'm cutting this out of the
How do you live with yourself, Valerie? Oh my God, this is next level.
Well, luckily it was only holding hands. Because if I had kissed that person, then I would have been much more guilty.
You have sinned. How dare you?
I know. All right. Okay, Bob, now it's your turn. God, I'm going to put you on the hot seat, buddy.
I'm an open book, I think. Book's not thick, but it's still a book.
The last thing I looked at that I wasn't supposed to, and you can't say Pornhub.
Oh, that's it. I'm done. The last thing I looked at and I wasn't supposed to. Wow. That is
so broad.
Yeah, that is. But the first thing that comes to mind is look at somebody in a certain way and you're like, oh, yeah, no, don't.
Oh, because they're taken?
Either they're taken, or it's like, oh, I've been looking for too long. I hope she doesn't catch me.
It's 2:00 at the bar and the beer goggles are on.
Every day. I mean, no. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna confess to something.
Oh.
Yeah. Should I?
Hey, I just revealed.
You held hands. Shut. Calm down, okay? Relax. This is heavy for me. All right. All right. This is.
All right. Safe space.
I don't want that reputation, so that's not. All right. Fuck it. Fuck it. I've been noticing. No, I can't.
Oh,
I don't want.
wow.
No, I can't.
What about a hypothetical person?
It's not a specific person. It's just like I'm attracted to something, and I see it, and I know it's like no, don't. What, like this is not appropriate. I mean, I'm not obvious with it.
Yeah.
Two, I don't make it a. Oh, I saw 25 today. I like butts. Is that bad?
Who doesn't?
Some people.
The great words of Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Baby got me.
They don't have to be. Oh well, yeah. There's that one too.
Baby got me. So this is.
I just got it.
Thank you. Took you a second. And sometimes even if it's like people and like couples walking around, I'm like, oh, that's nice, and then just shift away. I know there's other things that I look at that I'm not supposed to. That's broad.
Huh.
That is broad.
Yeah. Do you look at things work-wise that you're not supposed to?
Like while at work?
Yeah.
Yes. Not like
trade secret.
No.
Or...
It's more like I'm working on something and my brain goes like I'm literally, billing hours to my clients with the work I'm doing, and my brain just goes, "What about that cartoon? Remember that?"
Yeah.
And I just go into that, and I'm like, "Oh, I better make sure that I stop my timer because I just went on a 20-minute, rabbit hole about Hanna-Barbera." And that's happened before because I don't. Maybe I have ADHD. I don't think so. I can focus on something.
Yeah.
But it's more of if it's something that's second nature or kind of mundane, my brain can go. Well, I'll hear something. I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, and all of a sudden now, my brain shifted towards something else while I'm supposed to be doing work. I'm supposed to be fixing a bug or writing a document or whatever. And all of a sudden, now I'm looking at Zoom mics.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just because I've been meaning to do this. I guess that qualifies as something you're not supposed to look at. And of course, porn is the one thing that everybody would answer. Like you're literally at the red light, and then you're like, let me just see the latest of the day.
My God.
Let me just. Oh yes, there's one. Not that you're not supposed to look at it. It's more of you look at it and you feel a certain this is not okay. There's this came up on my Twitter. I don't know how. It's called like morbid knowledge. It's knowledge nonetheless, but this show here's the video of this lady she was jumped from a cliff and her parachute didn't open.
Oh jeez.
You don't see her crash, but it's like, oh, this is the video, and people are like, oh my god, yeah, probably not supposed to look at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that makes you uneasy.
Yeah.
So maybe that qualifies?
Maybe. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, but butts for the most part. I hope I've answered your question. There's probably more, but yeah, I look at everything. I'm a constant learner. Oh, that exists. Oh, look at that exists. Wow, that exists too.
Yeah.
Every day, go to bed less stupid. That's my creed. It's like, you got to learn something. Just acknowledge something that exists is good enough, and then move on with your life.
Yeah. So you're still on Twitter, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I'm not posting anything.
Yeah, I quit.
I don't
completely.
Twitter. I don't do TikTok. I don't. Is Snapchat still a thing? I'm not sure.
I was I think one of the shows last night that I was at, somebody brought up being on Snapchat. And I'm like, oh, people still do that? And they were talking about it for like something really bizarre, like sharing realtor pictures. And I'm like, what? I thought it was all about, full frontal down below. That's all it was. But I guess
No,
not. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm not on that.
Yeah, we were doing TikTok for a little bit, like posting the little shorts clips from podcast episodes.
Too much
so much
to do.
work. It's so much work.
Yeah, I ain't got time.
And
I'm not 22.
Yeah, yeah. Plus full-time jobs and
Yep.
parenting, and there's only so much. Somebody wants to volunteer to do it, I'm not going to turn them away.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. What are you looking forward to in 2024?
I want to get to a solid 30 minutes. That's
good
my
goal.
goal. Because I actually I did a show in Cedar Park last month. It was Pat Soroyce, who just did his taping recently. Yeah, Pat just called me up. I was like, yeah, you want to do spots at Cedar Park? And I show up, and he goes, yeah, about 15 minutes. And I'm like, I've done 15 minutes once. And I ended up doing 28.
Whew.
Yes.
Whew.
And I did, and I did not. And I apologized to Pat. I'm like, look, man, I'm so. And he goes, no, you killed. Like people loved it. And I did material that I'd never done before, especially about my kid and his mom that they'll never see, hopefully. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I've never. It felt so. I don't know how to describe it. It felt so not natural, but it came out on its own. Like I'd never rehearsed any of that stuff.
Wow.
And it just came out because I felt comfortable. I was getting good response from the audience. And afterwards, they all came to me like, "Yo, Beck, that was awesome. That was dope. Follow me, blah blah blah. I would love to see you again." And so, I know I have more than 30 minutes worth of material. I do.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get it to a point where it's good enough to be recorded. Now, where it goes, I don't know. But if I can get that, I think that'll be a good objective to attain.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Given your very busy schedule and obligations, do you go to a lot of mics? Do you try to go to
I try. I have my go-tos. Like usually, like I don't have my son Monday through Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'll pick one day and I'll do maybe two mics, 2 or 3 mics.
Yeah.
But they're starting to just. I mean, in my opinion, some of them just a waste of time. Because it's hard to know if your stuff works. Because it's all comics in there, and they don't care.
And they're not paying attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I went to a mic that had an audience, a built-in audience, or a mic where I can be like, oh, so-and-so is here that, like, I value their opinion. So I'd be like, hey, man, I'm try this joke.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think when I get off. Like, I would go for that.
Yeah.
But it's got to a point where, yeah, especially now that there's this new wave of comics that I've never seen in my life, and they're everywhere, and good for them. No, I mean it's a hustle. I get it, but they're getting very, very crowded, and I can't just sit around and wait for an hour and a half to do 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
Right.
You know, if some of them have a larger format, and I'm at a point where some of them I can show up and then be like, oh, put your name wherever. That's fine.
Yeah.
In a way, I still feel bad a little bit because I'm like, these guys are waiting, but whatever. I think that if I can get in a good cadence of just doing shows where I can just try stuff and be looser with my material, that'll be more beneficial to me.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've hit a what's the word? A milestone in my stand up, and I want to capitalize on that while it's going. It's and see whatever the next thing is. But if I can get a good solid 30 minutes, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And you're gonna keep doing your podcast?
Yeah.
a lot? Are you going to do the slow? It's going to be 15
No.
years before you hit 400?
No. Thanks. No, put it this way. It's a, I know I do a lot. And I haven't even talked about record play.
Yeah, I know, right?
The podcast is, I think it's honestly, it's more for me than anybody else.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's kind of one, it's my way to get to know people. I just had JT Stockman on, and I've known JT for a little bit, not on that personal level.
Yeah.
We've had conversations before, but the fact that he came to my house and we sat down and we talked about, what was the thing? Oh, dumb things that guys do to look cool. That was the topic. So we went back and forth on that. Like, that was fun. And so that's my way of getting to know somebody, knowing that I can't be out there 7 nights a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's more it's kind of for my own sanity kind of thing. As far as putting it out, it might not be as consistent. It might be every other week or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. And I'm working on another project too.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I don't sleep. Another project. I can't say much yet. But there's that. And then, of course, record play that's, picking up steam and people are showing interest. Trying to go corporate next year. So
Cool.
I'm working on that, putting the deck together, all that stuff. People are like, oh yeah, this is awesome. We gotta, and I make a point when I do the record play, the music trivia show. Every one of them, one of the prizes is tickets to a comedy show. So Rebecca has been very helpful. Roscoe's Big Laugh. They're like, hey, here's a couple tickets. So yeah, I always promote the comedy, and eventually I do want to get comics hosting it eventually. So yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah.
Now you know why I feel the way I feel.
Yeah, right. I think we talked about that the last time, that you and I have this like genetic defect of multitasking and just taking
Can't
on
stop.
big things, and
Life is too short.
to be idle would probably kill us.
But I tell you what, with the sciatica, this is a wake up call I've been neglecting my body for too long. I don't eat like shit, but I used to be active. I used to dance. That was my activity to stay in shape. But I gotta get rid of this dad bod and and really take it seriously. Do your stretches in the morning. God damn it! I got to do all this now. Add another 10 minutes to my morning routine that's already long, and getting my son ready for school and all that stuff. Yeah, I got to be up at 4 a.m. now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind sharing, how old is your son now?
He's 5. He'll be 6 next
okay.
month. Yeah.
All right. Oh my gosh. Exciting times.
Yes, it is. Doesn't stop.
So
that kid,
in school? Started school?
He goes to, he's in kindergarten now. He used to go to French school up north.
Yeah.
Now he's in Lake Travis ISD right here.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, that's where his mom lives.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Lake Point. So kindergarten there is French. He's fluent.
Yeah.
So my kid's better than you already, if you're listening.
Hold back.
All right. Well, you're good. You're bilingual, so you're fine. All you monolingual people out there.
Yeah, you're losers.
My kid's better than you. At least in that regard. He's cute too. So, it's a trip. He's at an age now where, funny enough, he's at an age now where he understands comedy.
Oh.
And French comedy at that too.
Oh.
So he'll make jokes in French. I mean, he's a clown to begin with. He can't just everything is he's always joking. But to hear him come up with a joke is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. And he'll do puns, stuff like that. Love it. I freaking love it. Well, that's my boy, little back.
So then, do you know about baguette and chocolat?
Of course I do.
Okay,
It's across the street from the school.
All right, I was going to say, then you must know because,
Yeah.
it is
Look, when I drop them
authentic.
off, that's where I go. Or before dropping them off,
Yeah.
we stop there and I
So
have
good.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Baguettes,
Yeah.
pain au chocolat.
Pain au chocolat, pain au raisin. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're Napoleons. Have you had the Napoleons?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
God, it's gluttony so much. Oh my God.
Shout out to Baguette de Chocolat.
Yeah, shout out. Please sponsor this podcast.
I might
Or
stop there on
buy-
my way out of here.
Yeah, no, I would too if I was, but I live close, so
It's beautiful out here. This is nice.
yeah. All right. Well, why don't you ask me what I have planned for 2024, Bach?
Because I know you're going to say it anyway.
Okay, fine.
I know you have big things, I'm sure.
I actually don't know.
Really? Why?
Well, I do want to keep doing the podcast, obviously.
Sure.
The writing thing has been really cool because, well, we had some guest writers, but they have all gotten like super busy with their own things. So now it's just
Writers for
our articles that go with the
got
podcast
it.
episode.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah.
That's the additional torture that we put ourselves through with. It's not just recording the podcast and releasing it. We write an article
Yes.
that goes with it
Yep.
that nobody reads. Except for the comic and maybe their mom and dad.
Yeah. Mom, I'm famous.
yeah.
I want ComedyWham.com.
So between Richard and I, Richard is the web guru that nobody knows what he looks like because he doesn't go out. He's a hermit. And then it got even worse when he got a girlfriend. So it's like he's an extra hermit now. So we've been writing a lot of articles back and forth, but I'm kind of liking like just writing because I know the writing is what got me the Austin Chronicle gig. And I don't know what's ahead with the Austin Chronicle, but as of the end of 23, I will have written 11 articles in the span of 2 years, which to me is like, that's a pretty steady, good
In the
pace.
Chronicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. So they keep, asking me to do it. And I find myself sometimes, I'm like, I try to drop names in the course of writing articles.
Sure.
And I wonder, am I starting to be that person? Because I know there have been complaints about the Chronicle in the past about how, the person that's writing these comedy stories, they don't know shit about the comedy scene. And it's like, oh, that's going to happen to me at some point. Somebody at some point is going to be like, oh, that girl, she doesn't know shit.
No, first of all, that's not true. So fuck those people. But here's my pitch to you. As far as the next evolution of Comedy Wham.
Yeah.
Knowing how big the scene is growing, I'm surprised there's no like a comedy segment on We Are Austin or any of these morning shows. Like no one, maybe I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I have not seen it. But
Yeah.
all these TV shows who are there's this new restaurant and this new winery or whatever.
Yeah.
They do all these things about the Austin scene, and no one's talked about the comedy scene on TV.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anybody better than you to represent and be like, hey, what's up with the comedy scene, Valerie? And you're out there and you're like, not like the weather, but like you have your own desk and you're going, so, this month, Mark Maron is going to be here next. Andrew Schultz is going to be here. Moon Tower is coming up. The badges are up. So this is what I'm talking about because I think that, one, people are still moving here.
Yeah.
And they might not be aware or they're not unless you seek it out. Like it's hard to navigate. It's just like the music scene in the 90s in Austin, where it is all over the place, but you kind of you don't have the time to investigate. You need someone to hold you by the hand and go, hey, there's Antones, hey, there's Stubbs, hey, there's Hole in the Wall. There's all these places. So Mothership is gonna be fine. You know what I mean? But if I live in Cedar Park, where do I go? If I live in Leander, because I can afford to live in Austin.
Yeah.
If I live in Hutto, who's producing shows in Hutto? Jack Schultze doing shows in Buda and San Marcos at breweries and stuff. So I think I would vote for you to be the comedy correspondent on some Austin TV show.
Well, I don't know if you know this about me, Bach, but I'm not a 20-year-old hot thing that would play well on TV.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. And even if it's not, I mean, I would wish it. I hope it'd be you, but somebody. Hey, this is the segment brought to you by Comedy Wham.
Yeah.
Because nobody besides you and Kate, and I don't know if Kate is out there going to shows. I know she's busy and all that stuff, and I'm happy for her. But as far as like on the ground, knows the comics, knows the scene, knows like the movers and shakers kind of thing.
Yeah.
They'll put makeup on. They'll doll you up. They'll do whatever they need to do. Put your body. It doesn't matter. The point is, there's no comedy voice on TV now.
Yeah.
Even radio.
Well, I mean,
maybe
you've got Matt Bearden, retired comic, on one of the biggest morning shows. Sawyer Stoll drops into that morning show.
Okay, fair enough.
But CJ Morgan's 101X, he has comics on. So there are, but they're performers. They're not, they're promoting themselves.
Yeah. So what we need is an insider, like an analyst.
Yeah.
Like a Stephen A. Smith of comedy.
Yeah.
You know who Stephen A. Smith is?
No, I have no idea. I just nodded.
He's a sports commentator that knows all the stuff, has all the stats, has all the.
That would so be me. I know so many trivia things.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I
can't do it. You just told you I have 2 other projects. And I told you I'm tired. But I'm saying it's the. Anyway, that's my pitch. Do what you want with it. I think it'd be awesome because otherwise someone else is going to take it and you'll look at it like, God damn, that could have been me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's how the Chronicle happened. They looked around and they're like, there's nobody else that knows the scene like you. And so they tapped me on the shoulder.
Then in that case, you should have your own column on a regular basis.
Oh. Ooh.
Not 11 in 2 years. It should be, because, I mean, they split their thing in, movies, music, politics, and at the end, the whole calendar of what's happening, everybody skips to that part when you read the Chronicle, right? But if you had your own dedicated page, Austin Comedy, boom. This was just announced. Moon Tower is coming up. Hey, if you look into, this South by Southwest comedy, and then that is your page.
Oh my God!
You got to be. I'm telling you, you got to be the go. You are the go-to already.
Yeah.
And so, the next level is how you get more eyes on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe get paid in the process. Maybe now you get to cover South by Southwest comedy. Mm-hmm. Maybe you become the official media correspondent for Moon Tower or whatever other Altercation Comedy Festival, whatever other anything comedy got to go through you.
Whew.
I mean, I'm serious, and I genuinely and honestly wish that for you. If you're not comfortable with TV, you go to Chronicle and say, yo, you're missing out on something huge here. Because you can talk about movies all you want. You can talk about music all you want. Yeah. But if you're ignoring this comedy thing, nobody's you're missing out on a big, big phenomenon. And your name is the Austin Chronicle.
Damn.
What's wrong with you?
I'm keeping that. Yeah, that's going to happen. I'm going to have that conversation.
Look, when I come back December 2024,
okay,
this better be your thing, okay?
Personally, one of the things that I think I want to work on is I actually want to be on stage as well. Like I'm hosting this showcase and I'm writing new jokes. It's a monthly showcase, so I'm writing new jokes to try to do more. I got picked up for a comedy show at the end of December, so I'm excited about that. And I think I'm going to do something in early January with Fallout Tonight, which if you haven't checked out, that is the cutest, quaintest, most adorable show, which is probably not the best way to describe a comedy show, but it is worth your time on a late Friday night to go check it out. And so I think I'm going to do that. So I think if I do more performance, because one of the things that I've always grappled with is like that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, people know me, oh, you're Comedy Wham. Well, Comedy Wham is not a comic, but I'd like to be known as somebody who can, hang on the comedy stages, and maybe that gives me a level of credibility that is different from the level of credibility that I seem to have as somebody who covers the comedy scene, cares about the comedy scene, and maybe cracks that open, because I do like performing in different ways and practicing different creative skills.
That's fine. As if you know why you're doing it, that's that's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's same for me. I don't claim to be the next Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like if tomorrow someone says, "Hey, back, let's go on the road for a month," I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't know about all that, man.
Yeah.
I got mortgage and shit. I got stuff to do."
Yeah.
But as long as you know why you're doing it and what it brings to you,
Right.
that's fine. As crowded as the scene has become, not everybody's doing it for the same reasons.
Right.
Some people just truly want to do this for a living, like 7 nights a week, go on the road, live in a car, live the comics life, and you're 22 years old, and that's totally fine. You go out there and you fuck up and you bomb and you do great and you build a name for yourself. Others are just like, oh, this is my outlet, but at least you know why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. And then, trust me, I get the same feeling too, because you're like, oh, am I taking someone else's stage time? And I'm not really that, this is not a lifelong career goal. I'm not trying to get a sitcom or TV or movie. This is not like a stepping stone to be in the movies or whatever. Right. And that's okay. I think that should be okay. There's no shame in that. I don't think so.
Right.
But try it out.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in the audience. They're like, allez, Valérie, trop drôle, trop fort, yes, trop fort. Vas-y, enchaîne. That was a little French for y'all.
Yeah.
Is it my impression of an exciting French person? Allez, allez, c'est parti. All right, sorry.
Is there anything we haven't talked about that you wanted to talk about, to recap 23, talk about 24?
I did Skankfest. I got to bring up Skankfest.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why we haven't yet.
Oh my God. I love Moon Tower. Let me say that first. I love Moon Tower. Yeah. I've been going to Moon Tower for 12 years. But Moon Tower is my Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I went to Skankfest and I'm like, holy crap, this is a comics Christmas. Because the setup itself, I think what was genius about Skankfest is that there's no headliners. Everybody's on the same level. Ah. So there's no big font, small font. Uh-huh. It's everybody, and we're talking 80 to 100 comics from all levels. So, you'll see this one show I went to, and that was my favorite room. If you can go back and listen. I did an episode on that with Aaron Cheatham, who was there with me. But yeah, Yamanika goes up, and she's followed by Adam Lucky.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So that there's not really I'm a big name, blah blah blah. It's everybody on the same level, and the lineups are such that you can have a local guy after a big name. It doesn't matter. And what I loved about it too is that everybody there's a comedy nerd. That's the thing everybody says about Skankfest is that I haven't seen a single person heckle. Huh. I haven't seen this. Everybody's there, like they're genuine fans. It's all dudes, but they're comedy nerds, just like us. And you stand in line for a show, and they're talking about, oh, have you seen the, so and so from LA? No, I didn't. Oh, cool. You should go check. Oh, it's on the lineup. This is our podcast. Cool. Let me subscribe right now. This is the kind of talk you'll hear from big dudes with cut off sleeves and tattoos, and I'm like, really? That's it? Okay, fine. And there are comedy nerds, and they have the utmost respect for the art form. Yeah. And that's something I really appreciated about Skankfest. So I'll make a point to every year. This was my third. The first one that I went to was in Houston, and I was one of 6 black people. including comics. And then, second time in Vegas. And I think they're moving it next year. They're talking about Florida or maybe back to Vegas. I don't know. I think it's Florida. But yeah, if you get a chance, and if you're a comic out there, submit I'll make sure I submit this year, next year. But I'll be there regardless, just as a fan, to soak all that energy in. It's great. When I went there in Houston and in Vegas, I schmoozed a little, but this time around, I'm like, I want to see as much comedy as possible. And yeah, some lineups were crazy, stacked, and lying like all the way around the building. And there was this one room it was just nonstop. People just dropping in, just nonstop. No breaks, no host. Jeez. Just, pass the mic kind of format. It was perfect. You could sit there all day and then just take all the comedy in. It was awesome. So yeah, you should go. You'd love it.
You led by saying it was all guys.
Yeah, but it's safe.
Well, I'm sure it's safe, but it's.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that. There was more.
It's not safe?
No, there's more women. There was more women this year than the year before, and at the end of the day, the same conversation that we have, you can have that with a random dude in line, about the show you're about to see, the comic that are coming up, and all that. So it's really great to. It's like a little subculture. Love it.
Yeah.
So check it out if you want to get a chance.
What's the timing of that? That's a fall festival?
Yeah, right? Like September, October time.
Okay. All right.
That's what it was.
I might be an empty nester by then, so maybe.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Valerie's out.
Handcuffs off.
Yes.
La liberté.
Yeah, la liberté. And then Moon Tower 2024.
God, it's already stacked. Some of those headliners.
Yeah, Schultz is I already got my tickets to Schultz, and I remember seeing him at Moon Tower. It wasn't in big letters, but he's selling out arenas in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, what the fuck?
Holy cow!
Yeah,
wow.
I was at his taping at the Paramount. Great special.
Yeah,
and I'm really this is one of those guys that 10 years in, actually more than 10 years, sold out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
2 shows in minutes.
It's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like there's a demand for this stuff.
Yeah,
and. You can use social media to your advantage. I'm not one of those, I got to post clips. I don't do that. A lot of people don't even know I do comedy because I don't post anything. I I have a show coming up, but I don't do clips. I don't do any of that stuff. But, when you're the luck that he has, the blessing he has rather, is that he's surrounded with people who are great at what they do. And he has a team of friends. Those are like his boys. He's the great writer. This guy's a great, videographer and editor, and then he's able to put out all this dope content out.
Yeah. And
so all power to him. So it looks. This is only first round. Mm-hmm. So Marin's on there, Schultz is on there. Add some other people that are headliners at the Paramount that I never heard of. Yeah. So I got to do homework now.
Yeah. The ones that I'm excited about are Amy Sedaris. She's not a stand-up comic, but she's comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, she did Candy with Candy, Strangers with Candy.
Even Alan Ruck is on the lineup.
Oh, God, yes.
Ferris Bueller's. Comic? Yeah, he's a comic?
Well, no, he's not, but he's associated with one of the funniest movies of all time, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, and Succession.
Which is a very funny show. Yeah. If you don't know.
Yeah. So some people on there I never heard of.
The State Reunion, that's another one I'm excited about.
I don't know that one.
The State is a very legendary sketch show. If you looked at the image of who was in the State, you would be like, oh yeah, I know all these people. They're all famous comedic actors, like Michael Ian Black, Joe Trulio, Kenny Silver. I can never remember her first name. You would recognize them all.
Okay, you just said Michael Ian Black. That's all you have to say.
Yeah,
I know that career.
Yeah, and they've been touring. They've been doing this State Reunion tour, and I'm like, oh, awesome. I
wonder what's going to change about Moon Tower this year, because they seem to evolve. They got the headliner week and then the free for all second week.
Yep.
I know that there were talks about movie premieres and like stuff like that, and turn it into a legit, industry kind of festival, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with it. They're probably gonna. I mean, of course, Call Brothers will be here to do the ping pong.
Yeah.
Or it was ping pong, the tournament.
It wasn't ping pong.
No, they took it out. They took it out. That's right. They didn't have it last year.
They didn't have anything at all? They surely did something.
I don't
think
remember.
2 years ago was Kelsey Cook's.
The foosball.
Foosball.
I was in there.
They did something.
I went against Brad Williams. I beat him.
Was he the foosball?
No! I did not want to say anything.
No, I didn't want to say anything. Cutting that out.
It was standing on the box, though.
Brad. God damn, I miss that. Now you have to go see him at Paramount Theater. You can't, I'm so used to seeing him, either stateside, which is still big, but not, as intimidating as Paramount. And, he's not doing small club shows anymore.
Did they have the tournament? I don't remember.
I feel like they commentated on something. But anyway, yeah. So that was one of the points for the top comedy stories in Austin comedy was settling into this format where it's 2 weeks of headliners, and then the last weekend is this club series is what Lisa called it.
Oh, there's a new festival coming.
There is?
Yeah, the Can't Even Comedy Festival.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
In March.
It's one day, so
it's still legit. Adam Ray's here.
Yeah,
Adam
right.
Ray's
I saw that. That's
shout
pretty
out
awesome.
to Max and Caitlin on that. I know Lando's on it too.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It would be dope up in Cedar Park.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that. So there was coverage. I forgot the dude's name from the LA Times who was here.
Yeah.
Who covered all.
Oh man, I started some shit with that.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't follow the story.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I was quoted twice. I was like, look, Mom, I made it to the LA Times.
I know, right? Me too. Do you want to hear the shit?
Do you want to go offline or do you want to?
No, I mean it's very public. I think.
I don't know. I didn't follow.
So Kate used the platform in her way, and we were just kind of a side note. And we were included in the paragraph where she talked about, what happened to her, and how it was not good, and it was a very poor reflection on the comedy scene. And then Comedy Wham that does this like random thing that we happen to do, not that we do the events page, we do the podcast.
Oh, you had like one sentence?
Yes.
Oh, you got upset about that?
Hi.
Oh.
Yeah. Mr. Nate Jackson, hi. This is Valerie of Comedy Wham. Let's have a chat. And the guy was super, super nice. And in his defense, he said, man, your name kept coming up all the time.
Yes, I know I brought you up because I had lunch with the guy. We talked for a solid 2.5 hours.
Nice.
And I know I brought you up and I brought Kate up. And you had a 5-word sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it was that much. But he said, I knew I had to cut out a lot for the first article. And when we talked, he's like, I'm about to release, he did where it was like a whole bunch of people quoted for things, the whole span. And he said, I'm glad you called me. When I come back, we're going to talk, but I'm putting out this additional piece. And there we were quoted more holistically about what Comedy Wham actually does in the scene. And I'm like, okay, he made good. He was good.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And
he's a good guy.
But I'm like, yeah, you kind of buried us in this really traumatic thing that happened to Kate, and using her platform the way she likes to use her platform. And I'm
sorry.
Like,
he'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
I've checked in with him, and I'm like, because he said he'd be on the podcast, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can nerd out.
He was a good guy.
Yeah. How did we get on that tangent? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, the LA Times piece.
Yeah.
And can't
so,
even.
I too got to say, hey, I was in the LA
Times. Let's see. What else? Are we...
we're just about wrapped up. If there's anything else that you wanted...
I do want to plug
projects.
I do want to plug Record Play.
Yeah.
So by the time this comes out, the next one up will be on Sunday, February. I can't say February. Can you say it?
That's wrong.
Can you say the second month of the year for me?
Février?
February? In English, yeah. I can't say it. February. February. All right, this Sunday, February, the second
February?
month. Yeah, of the fourth. Yes,
Okay.
it's a Sunday, 4 p.m. Record Play Live. We're doing our annual R&B, all R&B edition.
Are you gonna play that song? That one song?
What?
By Ghostface Killer.
Oh yeah, that's the opening song. I put my dick in your mouth. That's right. We're gonna open with that one. Yeah, so we have a residency at Pershing at this point. So
Cool.
that's where we'll be all of 2024. And so yeah, R&B edition. We'll have K. Cali. I don't know who the host will be yet. I'll figure that out. But it's a good time. Play music trivia. Jam to your favorite songs. Play as a team or solo if you know your stuff, and win prizes. It's a great time. So just follow Record Play Live on IG. I'll have the announcements on there. And yeah, and then am I plug-in stuff? Is it?
Not yet, but you.
Okay, that's it.
Fine. Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I don't want to go out of order. It's your show, Val.
Oh, thank you.
I don't want to get a phone call later like, hey.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Well, thank you for being part of my. I think I'm making you my new tradition.
Oh,
is
please.
we can
It's an honor.
Comedy nerds together and talk about our years, and hopefully that's not the only time we see each other. Because literally, I think it is the only time we see each other.
I'll come to your show.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I'll come check it out.
Yeah.
I'm not asking.
I'm gonna have you on. I just
Look, listen. I told you I have a hard time asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You've
fine.
asked,
I want to
so
come.
that's good.
I want to
People should
come
ask.
see it. I want to
Okay.
come see it.
All right, and then
Because unofficially, I do what you do and what Kate does. Because when people ask me, I say, "Hey, follow these guys. Oh, this show. Go to that one. This is where you live. There's this in Round Rock. There's that in 10 Market." So I'm doing that
Yeah,
indirectly.
indirectly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I will come see it.
Okay. All right. Well, that is a wrap on our 2024 New Year's Comedy Wham Presents. Welcome back. Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, Bach, tell us where we can find you on social media and your projects.
You can find me on at the Feedback BAK on Instagram. That's where I post clips of the podcast, whatever else I'm doing, all the 25 different things I'm doing. And you can also follow Record Play Live on IG. Check out the YouTube channel. YouTube.com/thefeedback. You'll see all the videos of all the episodes. They're on there. I know I should promote that more. I should cut clips. I should do a lot of things. But as you know by now, I'm a one-man band, and there's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
All right. The Feedback, Record Play Live, and shout out to you.
Thank you.
Shout out to you. And I'm gonna say this. It's New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Should have started with that actually.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But whatever. I'm from Africa, and in Africa, before we say Happy New Year, we say good health. Because without that, you ain't got shit.
Yeah.
Right? If you're not, case in point, I'm in pain right now. So take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mental health, take care of your people. But yeah, good health, and then whatever you wish for, success, happiness, whatever makes you happy, and whatever goal you set for yourself, I hope you get to them, and all the best to you and yours.
Thank you. And you too.
I was talking to the audience, not
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'm talking to you because I'm
I'm
looking at
kidding
you.
out.
This is that brutal honesty where it's like, I don't even think about that there's somebody listening. I'm looking at you.
Nobody's listening,
like,
but
yeah,
I'm
I
kidding.
know. No, nobody is.
No, this is
It's true.
seriously. I wish you the best, and I hope when I come back in December 2024, I want to see that column or something. The next
Let's do
evolution.
it. I'm
You have a
gonna do it.
year.
I'm gonna do it. I have a year. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed catching up with Bach, and you have heard how he's a comedic genius, and I enjoy that very much, and being a comedy nerd with him. This has been Comedy Wham Presents Bach. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Bach.
Thank you so much, Val. I appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
All the best.